And welcome to Let's Fly VFR. Today we're heading out for a bit of performance testing. We're going to take the Cessna for a ride. We're going to do some spins. We're going to test out the local scenery. Subscribe, like, and come visit Let's Fly VFR. Today we're situated at Adelaide International Airport. And we're going to fly out a little bit over Adelaide, have a look at the city, run down the hills a little, and end up back at sunny Gawler. Let's get this show on the road. Powering up nice and smoothly. Now it's taken a bit of work to try and get the level of clarity that I was looking for, and that's occurred by starting to use the NVIDIA DSR 4K setting. So we've got this set at 4K, so it looks nice and crisp. Now back on the 180 or the 1080p. It really just didn't quite have it, so it's certainly cost me a few FPS, but it's certainly looking a lot nicer now. We fly out past the international airport, looking forward to getting back there. Got a few aircraft taxiing around. There aren't too many around at the moment. Guess we'll head out, get a few thousand feet underneath us. And also we want to check and see whether we can get comfortably to 10,000. There was some reports and some complaints of people not being able to get up to 10,000 feet in the Cessna and struggling at about 7. So we'll see if that's possible as well. And if you want to hang around to the end, I have my system settings there for you, so you can compare what you're getting to what I'm currently getting. Climbing out steadily down towards Bunnings on the left there. We got Bunnings and all sorts of shops there. Let's head out past the city. Adelaide's a very picturesque city, not particularly high rise, a little bit of high rise, but basically ringed by nice parklands which are really pretty. And we'll head out over the hills here. Adelaide runs basically north and south and sandwiched between the hills that you see ahead of us to the east, and the sea or the Gulf over to the west of us. Down the Adelaide Cricket Ground. Says a lot for the quality of the scenery here in MSF 2020. MSFS. There we go. And we're ducked over. We're now over the hills, cruising at a good safe altitude. Lots of reservoirs around here as we're continuing to climb and try and get up to that 10,000 feet. It isn't a big climb. There's another one of the reservoirs. You can see the quality of the water down there is looking really excellent. Still a lot to learn with this Microsoft Flight Simulator. A lot happening. Certainly looking forward to the VR coming in when that eventually does. But it does worry me a lot about performance because I'm struggling at about 40 in the settings. And 40 is not too bad, but if you halve those and go to VR, I don't think it's going to be that great. In X-Plane 11, which this channel has been pretty predominantly for the last few years, I'm getting about 40 to 45 in that in VR, and it's beautiful and smooth. So I think there's some work to be done in 2020 to get there, but we're certainly heading in the right direction. A new patch due out very soon. Okay, we certainly get up to that towards that 10,000 now. Getting a lot of altitude. Looking over to the left, you've got Parafield Airport over to the left. You've got Murray Bridge out to the right. Looking pretty good out there, isn't it? So this is a system is a Ryzen 2600 on 32 gigabyte of DDR4 RTX 2060 Super on a gigabyte motherboard. And there we are, 10,000 feet. So it wasn't that much of a struggle. It does take a little time to get there. Not too much traffic around today. There isn't much traffic in the skies of Adelaide under the current conditions. Yeah, we've just been cruising at, or climbing at best climb, which is around about 75, 76 actually in the Cessna, but we're up there and we've made that pretty comfortably, haven't we? So just hold on to that for a little bit longer. We certainly don't hit a glass ceiling, and it all stops when we get there. So I'm also interested, I really like to take this aircraft out and give them a bit of a spin and see how they go. As someone who's done real world flying, I always like to just try and get a feel for how well these aircraft handle and how accurate they are. So we're just going to hold back the power and hold the nose up to get a stall, and then it'll be backstick and a left rudder to put us into that spin. Okay, we just back it idle, holding onto a still. Let's get that mixture control all the way in. There she goes. We're going, where's one? There's two. There's three. There's four. Putting into the right rudder now. Neutralize the stick. Shouldn't really have right aileron in there. There's no cause for that. But there we go. It was quite a ride, and we've dropped about 3,000 feet in that little exercise. That's pretty frightening. So let's get the mixture control in. Don't know why I pulled that out. And we'll head over to Akula. Well, is a small gliding and LSA airport in the north of Adelaide in South Australia. That's all the training zone or training area out there. Spent plenty of time flying around in there and out over those hills and heading north. Done a little bit of flying down at Parafield Airport, which is pretty much straight ahead of us, but about 10 k's away. We also have an Edinburgh Air Force Base, which is off our nose and probably about 4 or 5 k's away. Can't quite see it from here. Wind's looking nice and crisp, so we head back down. Still interested to find out how you guys are going with your Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and how you're struggling with the settings and what sort of qualities you're getting, because you certainly seem to need to have it right up to get anything like what we saw on the advertising. Certainly did some 4 or maybe even 8K to get some of the high quality stuff that was being put out previously. It's the new highway. That runways you see that used to extend through and past where that racetrack is. So let's bring it down. Certainly looks pretty amazing, doesn't it? They come in on runway 31. It's 1331 and 0523. The choices we have. Let's see how we go with this one. Probably a little bit tight on the turn. But the only thing wrong with this is these are actually clay runways. This looks more like it's been cemented. I'm sure they would love that. And we have no buildings. So if you know how to add buildings to an airport, please put a message in the comments below, because I want to know where to go and do that, because I feel naked if I don't have my buildings. And coming back in, landing a little bit on the long side, and unfortunately we're not posh enough to have all the signage at this particular airport. It does have the taxiway on the right though, because we use it to take off or just to take off, so we don't have any problem with the wooden props on the Jabiru 160s and 70s. Oh, and my taxiing is not so good. The rest of this looks pretty well done. Those trees over left, that's a whole little suburb on its own. And we'll taxi to the right and we'll cross over runway 0523. I've enjoyed that little flight. The only thing that lets it down is turning up here when there should be buildings in front of me. There'll be a number of hangars sitting there. Runway's clear. Let's head across. I'm going to try and get the face track no IR working. I think and see if that makes the whole thing a little bit better. Not as good as VR, but I'm sure it will be a step in the right direction if we can get that up and running. So I'll let you know how that goes. Got a few visiting aircraft. I'm going to top up for some fuel. There we go, getting around here. We'll be able to pull it up around the other side of this aircraft. And we'll go and have a look and see. I'll show you what the settings are that I've got currently here. Now these were based from Ultra, and I've just backed it off in a few spots until I've got what I wanted. But the biggest change was the moving it from 1080p to 4K with the DSR settings, with the NVIDIA graphics cards that they have. So if you've got an NVIDIA card and you're not using it, I do highly recommend it. You can probably back off some of your other anti-aliasing settings by using the 4K DSR. So it looks pretty good. Just need some buildings to put over there, don't we? Let's go and have a look. So if you like, stop and pause at any time. And you can see where I am, but I'm getting about 40 FPS with these settings. You see, most of it's turned up fairly high. So I hope you found that helpful. And if you got any need for any items for your sim, come visit letsflyvfr.com and you'll find links in the description below. And look forward to catching up with you next time. Let me know how you're going with your settings. Just subscribe, like, and if you're new to the channel, love to have you on board. Catch you back here again real soon. Let's fly VFR. Bye bye.